everyone, and welcome down to episode 184 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia. And the guy on your other screen or in your other ear, if you're listening to the podcast, it's Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cameron.
Hello, Brendan. Episode 184. It certainly feels like episode one. Except we're maybe a little bit more prepared than we were episode one. That episode one was a nightmare, I believe. It was a bit rusty, but it was okay. So, but yeah, episode 184. Here we are. I'm actually just double checking to see it is 184.
Yeah, you can double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's 184. But anyway, whatever.
Well, considering just going off script straight away. So Cam's Scottish adventure was episode 180. Cam's second Scottish adventure was 181.
Okay.
And then there was Epic Landscapes for 182.
Right.
And then Paint with Light was also 182.
So 183.
183. So we're technically 184.
So I've got it right. Yeah.
You got it right. We just haven't numbered it right. So
yeah.
I couldn't tell you what episode we're up to be honest.
Yeah, well, thanks to everyone who has very gratefully given us a little break and given us no grief whatsoever about not doing a podcast. So thank you. Well, there was a little bit of feedback, but that's okay.
We don't listen to feedback.
We're looking at you, Cooper. It's been good. The break couldn't have come at a better time. Speaking for myself, it couldn't have come at a better time because I was heading into the craziness that is December. And I can't believe we're out the other side. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone, by the way.
It is. Oh, we should be wearing like streamers and good shit on our heads, but we're not.
That's right. It's New Year's Eve. What the hell? Where did it go? But thanks for the break. As I said, I've been flat out. So to be honest, if we did try and put a podcast together, it probably would have been pretty average anyway. So now we've freed up time a bit, and
isn't that the average?
That's not to say there's going to be any. As I was saying that, Cam, saying it, I was like, "What? That's no better." But what about you, Cam? You had a nice little breather.
Yeah. The pod? Same again. Yeah, the break couldn't have come at a better time for me. Just busy. Yeah, I was away, obviously, sort of November into December, so. Trying to put these together when you're on the road and miles away from things is a bit tricky. So, but yeah, I've had a good break. Well, I'm still on my break. I don't really do anything now until, and we'll get into this as we get into the show, but I don't really do anything now until start of February, really. So I'm doing pretty well. So yeah, I'm sort of a bit lost. You have that time off and the first couple of days, you're like, yeah, I can sit there and binge. I've binge watched Stranger Things. I'm up to date with that. And now I'm just like, well, what now? Nothing else to do. I'm like, well, I've got nothing to do now. So thought we might as well put a podcast. But the break was good. And looking forward to getting back into this for next year and blaming it this year, whatever we want to call it. We'll be doing another New Year's Eve show in 10 minutes anyway. So
that's true. Not half an hour ago did I watch the latest episode of Stranger Things. So I'm also up to date. And
yes,
for those of you who don't partake,
is that the volume
really
2? There's new ones coming out. There's new ones coming out New Year's Eve, isn't there? Tonight.
There is the one and only final episode coming out New Year's Day for us at midday.
So tomorrow the following day midday.
As this goes to air, yes, it's tomorrow.
Yes.
So
okay,
which will be the big grand finale, which I think is a 2.5 hour episode. So
it's going to be interesting.
We're excited for that.
We're not a Netflix show, are we?
Not a Netflix show, and we're not a Stranger Things show, but do yourselves a favor if you haven't already seen it. So just to give you guys a bit of a rundown on what this episode's all about, Cam and I, first and foremost, thought we'd put together, what do we end up with, Cam? 7 each of our favorite
7 images
photos.
Each.
Of our, favorite photos that meant the most to us in 2025. So they're going to be coming up shortly. We'll share our photos with you guys and explain a bit of the background about those. Then we're going to talk about the year, like the workshops we did. It's basically a year in review. I also put the call out yesterday for viewers' questions. We got heaps. So
we did.
Why am I surprised? We're going to go through those as well, and then we'll give a bit of a rundown about what our plans might be going into 2026. So again, thanks for joining us. It's good to have you here.
Have we upped our subscribers since we've been offline? Have we got more subscribers?
I think we've held which I think is a win. If you don't put out content, but you hold your numbers, I think that's a win.
Yeah, and no doubt it'll almost double after this comes out because people will be like, oh, they're back, because everyone else has been watching those other photography shows online here.
Right. They're like a better subscribe, which is just down there somewhere. Subscribe. Yeah. Get into it.
So. It'd be nice to get up. What's our target for the end of next year? 1,400.
Let's go for 1,100.
Okay. Wow. We could stick to 1,100. That'd be good. If we can keep it above 1,000, that'd be good.
Targets are always good. So a couple of thousand might be nice. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. But hey, it all depends on what kind of content we can give the good people, Cam.
Well, if the first 10 minutes is any indication of what they're in for, I don't know why the masses aren't subscribing as we speak.
That's right. So Cam, in 25 words or less, how was your 2025
in 25 words or less? How's my my 2025?
25 words, it's fine.
My 2025 was meant to be not as hectic as it turned out to be. I sort of made a bit of a promise at the start of 2025 that I'd sort of space things out a bit more, and those spaces that I had started getting filled up with other things, and then it just became busy towards the end. The second half of the year was just quite busy, but it was successful. It was fun. It was engaging. Saw some really cool places. Got to travel a few places. Got to do a few workshops with you. Have lots of laughs. Met lots of customers, new and old. It was good. It was just another year, but it was a good year. You know what I mean? Like it's a bit like not Groundhog Day, but each year is sort of similar now because we've got a similar sort of schedule of workshops that we're doing. So it's really the customers that make the year exciting and stuff like that when you see them getting shots and stuff like that.
Question without notice: was this your first year with OzGeo?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was...
Yeah. So we did 2 of those. We did a Tarkine one and the Flinders Island one. Both of those went well. And we're looking to do both Tarkine and Flinders ranges next year, plus Flinders Island as well. So they're ramping things up a bit. This is what I mean, like these gaps that I had were all cool until other people started saying, I can fill something in that gap.
That's right.
Would you like me to fill that gap for you? And it's just like, So yeah, it's good. It's busy, but it's been fun. Obviously, we had a little bit of different personnel on this year. We didn't have you in America this year, or Dan from last year as well. So Cheryl's been sort of chimed in. She's actually working for me. So so she's come along. So she's had, I would say she's had a more interesting year than I've had. I can probably tell you a story about America when we get into that as well. But I probably should have run this by her first. But not too bad. We're going to put the story out there.
You might be able to save it in the edit if you get back to me quick enough.
If I do this now, is that when we stop?
Exactly.
It's been a good year, and look, 2026 looks like it's going to be another successful year, and away we go again.
Yeah, great. That's awesome. It was similar from my point of view as well. Obviously, I don't do anywhere near the number of workshops that you do, but from a business standpoint, Ocean Grove Camera and Photo, new t-shirts, by the way, Ocean Grove Camera and Photo kept me very, very busy all year, which is great. Interesting times though, Cam, just a reflection on December alone, my physical customer count, so the number of people that come into the shop, is down by a whopping 10% in December.
What about, so does that mean more people doing online?
Yeah, so it's definitely balanced that with online because my sales overall for December are up. So I just found that really interesting, and I felt like it was a bit quieter. I didn't think it was 10% down. That's quite a number. Like that's
Well, out of the 20 people that come in that month, that's it's 2 less people.
Exactly. It was,
but that is a big jump, and I think people are starting to also, like, I know I did it. Like, so many people do online shopping these days.
Of course.
People just go a week before Christmas, can't be asked going anywhere near a shopping centre. I'll just do it online, which is great because that frees you up to do other stuff and get stuff ready in the shop as well.
Yeah, it just meant slightly earlier starts because what I was doing was going in through December. I was at work at 6:30 in the morning and just printing all the online orders that have come in, just so everything's clear for when people actually start coming in, which I really enjoyed this year. Like getting seeing Ocean Grove wake up and getting in early, I felt like a baker. I mean, bakers start at like 2 a.m. I get it. I'm not a baker, but
you've got one next door as well.
Well, that's right. But seeing the town come alive at that time of year is a really good buzz. It was really cool. And we have this annual event called Christmas in the Grove where they shut off the main stretch where I do the Santa photos in the main drag.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. And that was so good. It felt like a really good community Christmas this year. Probably the best since pre-COVID days, like where everyone just felt into it. Like it was a really good spirit around the town. But I must say, the last 2 days, Ocean Grove's population quadruples at this time of year.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane.
That's the thing. Like where you live's beautiful, but I don't know if I handled it. I know.
Yeah,
it's a bit like Bright, where Bright has that influx for different things. But
the lucky thing for me is we have the madness of December. I have Christmas Day off, then Boxing Day kicks in, and everyone arrives. But it's really only for this week, so it's like from say Boxing Day to like Jan 2. And then it'll sort of halve that. It'll still be busy, but it'll go back to some kind of normality. Which I can, which is totally fine. And look, I'm not complaining. Please, like business is great. Like more numbers the merrier, of course. Selling calendars and prints and that sort of stuff. And every second person going, "Oh, how long have you been here?"
This shop? Haven't been here before. Yeah. Do you find a lot of locals get out of town for that week? Do people do the opposite?
There's a lot of people that put their houses up on Airbnb. I mean, we've got friends who did it. They've got their house on Airbnb for 2 weeks. They've gone to France for two weeks, and that's funding it.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Not the only person that's gone to Europe either, are they?
Yes, well, Boxing Day was big for another reason, just to add something else. And the number one daughter, Abby, jumped on the big bird and off to Paris. She's been messaging us from Paris. Cam, when we were kids, well, I mean, I traveled a bit when I was a kid, went overseas, whatever. How many times did you call your parents?
As minimal as possible.
I honestly reckon when I was overseas, and I was overseas for a year, I reckon I called them 4 times. Birthday, Christmas, and then
send me money. I'm broke.
Luckily, I didn't get to that point. Friends of mine have said that, but what's changed now is Abby was on the tarmac, and she's got Starlink on the plane.
Yeah,
and now we've got this WhatsApp thing, and she's just sending pictures and stuff to the point where you almost want to say to them, "All right, go and thank you for checking in. We appreciate it, but let's cut those apron strings a bit, and off you go." So.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I get a lot of comments about me. It's like, geez, you're away a lot from home, which we are, and to a point. How does Lisa and the kids handle it? Like, we're on messaging, talking pretty much every night of the week when we're away, or every second night, so it's like you said, it's not that. I remember when my dad used to go away on work, even just to Adelaide. He'd be away for a week, and he'd bring mum maybe once every 2 or 3 days. That was it. Yeah. We've got so much communication abilities now just to check in. But you're right, they're going away to sort of experience this whole life on the road and do their own thing. But there's still that umbilical cord connected through the social network, isn't there, where they can still check, which is great. But, you're right as well. You should say, cut that chain a bit. And
Well, the difference with Abs, of course, is she's traveling solo. So that, of course, makes dad have sleepless nights, but that's fine. So I appreciate the regular check-ins and stuff like that. Just to, hey, I got here in one piece. Okay, now I'm going here. That sort of stuff is great. She's already, of course, made new friends in the hostel where she's staying. She's bunking with a couple of girls from Melbourne, so that's pretty cool. Who she didn't know, they just happened to be at the hostel as well. So it's great.
Do you have find your phone set up so you can see her at all times?
Yeah, that's Life 360 app.
Oh yes,
yeah. So I can see where she is at any point. And my wife, of course, would you please stop stalking your own daughter? That's just stop it.
I stalk my wife because she said, I'm just going down to the bakery to get stuff, and I have a look and she's at Kmart. I'm like, hang on a second. That's not the what are you doing there? Get out of Kmart and do what you're meant to be doing.
Yeah, for sure. What I thought we should do, I mean, we could because we haven't really caught up in the last 6 weeks either. So this is sort of us catching up as well. But
are you recording yet? Is this recording?
Yeah, that's right. I did hit record. I thought we'd talk about now, correct me if I'm wrong. We only ran 3 workshops this year, didn't we?
Great Ocean Road, Tarka on the Cradle, and the Murray Melly.
Murray Mallet, yes, that's right. So
yes, I don't think we didn't do 4. No, we're doing 4 next year.
we are doing 4 next year, which we'll talk about as we go through as well. The Murray Mallet, which was we changed that up this year, and we had it in April. So the first one we did a couple of years ago was in November, something like that.
Yes, it was.
And the difference then, we had all the crops up, which sort of added another layer to our photography. But by doing it in April, we had a lot more dryness. Like it was warmer. It was a lot more sort of almost desert vibe about it.
Yeah.
Which did you prefer?
Somewhere in between. I like the crops. I think the crops were cool. I can remember one little moment where we drove out to the furthest silo we went out to.
Yes.
Where it's got the twin silos. And on the way back, there's like a funny S-bend in the road. And there was a tree right in the middle of a paddock, and it had all the crops there. And we stopped there and had some stormy clouds behind it. Yep. That was on the first one we did in that sort of September, October. So I like them both, but I think having a little bit of that crop, and if we could time it again, if we do that workshop to have some color in the crops, that'd be very cool as well. But having said that, though, I think the shearing shed and all that sort of dry, deserty, outbacky stuff, and the townships that we went to, I think they worked better in the earlier year one for me.
Yeah.
So, if I had to pull it to my head, I'd probably say let's go when there's crops going again. Just because the crops sort of add a bit more of that, the wind going through the crops and the lines and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
I think from running a workshop point of view, having the crops is handy because it's that extra element that you get. Yeah. And in the way crops are planted, the lines that you get in the crops.
Exactly.
And I thought October was great because they're still quite green, but you're starting to get a little tinge of the gold, and they catch the light really well. I mean, it'd be awesome to do them at harvest. If you could time that, it'd be, first of all, it'd be probably 40 degrees. Second of all, who knows when that's going to be with the way the climate is these days. So, to see those proper golden crops, I'm really keen to get up there, even if I just go myself. And of course, that's only December, which is the busiest time of year, but I'm sure I can make that work.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing as well. Like, we try and set up our workshops to be the ideal time of year, at the ideal place, at the right everything. But sometimes, you've got multiple places that work at the same time of year, which makes it really tricky. So, but like, next year? We're doing the Tarkine, we're doing the Great Ocean Road, and we're doing the East Coast of Tassie, and we're doing Kangaroo Island as well. So, I reckon maybe after next year or 2026, the Tarkine, the Cradle, we can maybe put that on the bench for a couple of years and maybe bring back the Murray Mallet at that sort of time of year, or work it out a bit better like that. Or maybe I'd love to do some stormy sort of stuff up in that Mallee region. That'd be whenever the storms are kicking off there the most, because there's a fair few storms that roll through there.
Yeah, we get a lot of those in November up there.
November, yeah. So I reckon like the crops would be probably harvest by then.
They'd be on knocking on the door of harvest, yeah.
So something like that. We've remember that last one we did, or the first one we did, where we had the crops and we did have a storm come through. Like that was cool. So just that
corner of that big paddock, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That just adds another element, I think, to how your workshops can run as well. I'm finding with all the workshops I do is like the location's great, but really it's the weather that kicks off the work. If you get cracking weather or something really interesting, that's what sort of makes it, I think. So yeah.
Well, all the info for our 2026 workshops is scrolling across the bottom, including places that are left, and there's not many. So head over to dsps.com.au. If you hit that QR code up in the top corner there, you can also go to dsps.com.au and you can go to the workshops page, see what we got for you, and we'll have an announcement on 2027 workshops pretty soon as well.
Question without notice.
Yes, sir.
Why have I got Charlie Brown #2 on the top of my StreamYard thing here? Is this in the campus?
Yeah, no, that was when I did the Charlie Brown. That was so funny. When I did the Charlie Brown interview, I had to stop it because for some reason, God love him, he managed to have everything recording to his phone, and then his phone got full and it just dropped out. So then he spent 45 minutes trying to delete stuff off his phone, and then I had to start another one called Charlie Brown 2. That's why.
So I was just looking at it like, is Charlie Brown
What the hell is that?
Is he sitting in the bloody green room waiting to come in or something?
No, he's not.
No.
But I did notice he did put out a YouTube video during the week as well.
He did, about waterfalls and river flow and stuff. Yeah, good on him. G'day, Charlie, if you're watching.
He's got a terrible spot to do those as well. So yeah, g'day, Charles. Hope you're well. So we did the Murray Mallee and then Great Ocean Road, which was I think we did that around May, June time, or May. I think we did that.
That was a different time of year again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was different to when we normally do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually liked that time of year that we did this year. I thought that was good. I think the weather was just a bit more changeable, which I know we've had discussions about workshops a lot. I try and look for the worst weather, and you try and balance it out with some okay weather and somewhere we meet in the middle and figure out when we're going to do a workshop. But I thought that worked well. We changed the itinerary around a bit. We didn't kill any customers this time up and down hills, which is good. We managed to.
Not one customer batted an eyelid that we didn't get them to the lighthouse at Cape Otway.
Not to our faces, they didn't. I think they
might have been a few. That over so well.
The fact that the lighthouse is open and you just wanted to go to the pub, I thought that was a brilliant move.
That's right. No, that was a bit. No, you're right. That was selfish of me.
Yes, I wasn't complaining, but again, that was good. Again, I actually just saw something on my social stream before we got online here about the Great Ocean Road and the busyness and the tourism people down there and stuff like that. Yes, it's busy, but we managed to keep away from them pretty well, I thought. So
yeah. I mean, this time around it's July, so it'll be even quieter, which is great. A couple of big changes though. By the time we get there should be a brand new visitor centre at the 12 Apostles. That'll be open, and we may very well be charged to take a bus down there.
Oh, okay. I also heard that Gibson Steps are closed.
Yes.
Yes.
So they're conducting geo, whatever you want to call it, surveys for safety. They're worried about a collapse there. So not necessarily right at the steps, but just slightly further along, which can have a chain reaction. So they're really monitoring that closely. The last mail I got on that is they're hoping to have it open basically February, March. But that's subject to, whatever. I mean, we'll obviously, we can't go down there if it's shut. So we'll play it.
Or when it's dangerous.
Or when it's dangerous, exactly. So, but, there's that many options around there. That's not really that big a deal. I mean, we haven't even done the brand new lookout at Lockhart Gorge yet, or done Lockhart Gorge at all. So that might, instead of Gibson Street, you might go and do Lockhart Gorge instead. So,
well, I have full confidence in the Victorian government to get that all sorted out for the start of this year,
or any government for that matter. But yes, you're right. What could possibly go wrong?
It'll all be sorted. Yep.
And then we did the world famous Tarkine to Cradle Mountain workshop, which, if I had to pick the one that was that yielded the most images from a selfish point of view again, was definitely that.
Yeah. I think
that was epic.
Yeah, that's again, to this day, I don't understand why I never did that on my schedule before we did it. Like it's been staring me in the face for 10 years. Do a Tarko on the Cradle Workshop. It just works very well because the Tarkine's spectacular and Cradle Mountain is amazing as well. So I think I got some great shots through there. And it's just one of those places that every day. Some workshops we do, and I'll put my hand up and say, like, you'll have sort of filler days where you sort of go, all right, well, today we've got to go check this place out. It's not as spectacular as the thing down the road, but it's still worth looking at. We'll go check it out. That workshop, though, has an epic day every day. It's like, either coastline, forest, cradle, the forest, whatever it might be. There's always something awesome going on there. So that was a lot of fun. I think just trying to think how we went with weather on that one. The weather was okay on that one, I think.
Can I just ask you a technical question? Can you just double check that your mic is coming through your mic and not your headphones? You're just dropping in and out a wee bit.
Oh, hang on a sec.
Please hold.
A bit.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Do a little
Can you hear
test
me now?
Oh, hello. Now you're back in the room.
Oh,
I don't know whether that changed
a
little way into it or not, but you're definitely a lot better now.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, no, it went through here and not through there.
No, that's right.
Most of what I say is bullshit anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right, we'll start the whole thing. Hello, everyone, and welcome.
26 minutes later. Like I'm trying to think whether or not what the weather was like for the Tarkine one, but I think it was pretty good. I think we had pretty good conditions.
Yeah. No, the weather was epic, and as you'll see later on, 2 of my 7 shots from the year are from the Tarkine. So
there you go.
Yeah, that was rather epic. You know, the conditions that we managed to arrange in Cradle, where we actually got proper frost. That was brilliant.
That's right. I'm looking at that now. Yes, there was the frosty Pandanys.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking through my photos now. And then, yes, we got some pretty cool conditions in the Tarkine. And we got those surfers. Remember the surfer doing the bloody kung fu kicks on the
whole day just there. That was nuts.
You know what? I had to go through my Lightroom the other day, and that's how far behind I am with backing up my images. I had to back them up. And I opened them up, and I'm like, what's going on here? Why is this glitching? Why is there like 1,000 shots of the same thing here? But I had it on Pro Capture and just had the finger held down. I'd taken like 1,000 shots of this dude, all looking the same. I mean, and I ended up just deleting most of them. I'm like, I'm never going to use them again. But so it was good. So we've had a good year of workshops, and we're super ready to go again. And
as far as backing up images is concerned, I think we've got a viewer question about it later. But for me, it's a case of do as I say, not as I do, because I am hopeless. Yeah. I am so far behind. I literally just grabbed out some photos from Utah, which was 2024, and went, I haven't even edited these yet. Like some of the ones out of Page and beyond, and Monument Valley. I think I went through Monument Valley. Oh, that's good, but haven't been through any of the others. So
anyway,
there's plenty.
I saw a slightly off topic in a way, but on topic. Our good friend of the show, Thomas Heaton, he was in Utah at the same time we were. Obviously, we didn't cross paths or catch up. Yeah. But we went to Monument Valley, and you got that classic view. We all get up there, and there was another photography group there, and so some American guy with about 6 or 7 people, and they're all setting up their tripods and getting ready. I said, look, guys, we'll just go up here a bit and keep out the way. And, you gave each other the g'day, how you going, nod type of thing. And this lady comes out of the visitor center, just in sort of civilian clothes with a badge on, and comes up to him and says, you can't have any tripods here. If you have a tripod, it's $250 US per person to put a tripod up here and take photos. And this guy's like, what are you talking about? And we're still getting somewhat set up onto the side. And I just said to my guys, I said, hang on a sec. Just take a few happy snaps. Let's just see how this plays out. And they're going back and forth about this. And then this guy's on the phone to his boss, and his boss is like, that's bullshit. And they're sort of not arguing, but they're having a robust discussion. And in the end, she came up to us. She goes, are you a tour group? I'm like, no, we're just private people. She goes, well, no tripods allowed either. I'm like, right, okay. So they've made.
What's the reckoning? Why?
It's a new permit required. Monument Valley, on Native American land, you've got to pay $250 per tripod, US, to take a photo. In the end, like you're not there until it's dark. So in the end, like we were hand holding stuff and no problems, and we still got the great shots. But this guy wouldn't let it go. He was not happy in typical American style.
It feels a bit sort of out of the blue, right? Because.
Yeah, well, Thomas Heaton had the same thing on his video. If you watch his latest video from Utah,
I haven't seen that.
Him and Photo Tripper are setting up their tripods, and this lady comes along and says, $250 US. See you later, alligator.
Was it the same lady?
I don't know if it was the same lady, but it's definitely the same outcome.
Okay, so question: if you pay the $250, do you get to use your tripod?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Which in the end,
that is red tape gone mad.
Now, in the end, you know me, I'm pretty cagey when I need to be. So there's a little rock wall sort of barriers there along where you stand at the lookout. So I just said to people, I said, look, just leave your tripod not set up, like just collapsed, but just rest it set up on the rock wall. So we had it set up on the rock wall. So we just simply got our cameras, just went, put it on the tripod, snap, took it off. Like you wouldn't know. She had no idea. Yeah. But when everyone had them extended out big, it was a dead giveaway. So
yeah, right.
Anyway. Bad luck, Thomas. No tripod for you either.
Should we show off some photos? What do you think?
Why not? Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna. So
while you're doing that, I'm gonna get another drink. You line them up. I'm getting another drink.
All right. I've got them lined up across the bottom of the screen here. So, and because we have a limit, Cam, on what I can line up, I'm going to have to do a couple of yours and then delete them off and then do some more. But that's all right. We can do that. So will we just like tennis it backwards and forwards? One of yours, one of mine.
Let's do that. Let's play a rally.
Well, I'm gonna do that one first, and that is one of yours, my man.
That is one of mine. To me, this is out there with probably the best photo I've taken in the last few years, I reckon. It was a drone shot, which everyone's going to go, ooh, drone, ooh. But I have my drone registered in the UK, and I'm allowed to fly it where I was flying it. So I didn't break any rules. But we just had, this is called the Kerrang, which is on the Isle of Skye, just up from the Old Manor store. It is a cracking place. And we had 2 tours here this year. And both tours, we had some of the best light we saw right at this spot. So this is on the tour number 1. This is one where Jamie was on there, a good friend of the show, Jamie. And I think Sharon was on that one as well. Shazbang. Shout out to Shazbang. She sent me a lovely calendar today. Thank you. And a nice little Christmas card. So This is a drone shot. This is on the new Mavic 4 that I bought. So this is a new drone, and it is a significant improvement on the Mavic 2 Pro I've got. But I didn't have, this is the thing, I didn't have to do much to it. It looked like that. All I've done is added a bit of contrast, and that's about it. It was just one of those magic moments where you are looking at the screen. I just wanted to rip it down, put it in the computer, edit it, and post it online to show people. But a cracking spot. And it was about 3 or 4 degrees. It wasn't that warm, but it was a lovely moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. The light and the I think we might have shown this during the year on the channel, but am I right in saying the car park is down in that bottom right-hand corner of the image?
Yeah, so that's just the top of the little switchback road. The car park's just slightly out to the right.
Okay.
And then you walk sort of underneath the drone along the ridge line. So looking the other way is just as spectacular, or another similar ridge line, but with the little tarns there reflecting the sky or the blue. I thought just have to go that way. So it was really cool. And like I said, it's just one of those moments where you're just looking at the screen, and I was still trying to be discreet because there was a few other people there, and I don't want to bother people with drones. So I was trying to control my excitement about how good it looked. But I showed people in a group and like, have a look how good it looks up here. And everyone was just down below getting the same shot and the same light, but just at a different angle. It was really cool, really exciting moment, and couldn't wait to get out and have a look at it.
Yeah, that's what I've said for years since getting a drone 7 or 8 years ago, was the way that it changes every perspective that you've got, and it makes the possibilities endless. That kind of thing, or one of mine coming a bit later, a bird's eye view, that sort of stuff. It's the best. It's so cool that we can now chuck a drone up in the air and have a more than usable image out of it as well. Like, I'm sure the resolution on that is totally fine to enlarge to whatever size you want.
Well, that is a 100 megapixel file.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And it's funny you say that. Like, the technology we have these days, like for these drones, is incredible. And I did some video footage where I flew through the gap and the ridges and things like that. It was really cool. I just don't understand why people just can just stop being cockheads with drones. Like, people they're ruining it. It's like that 1% of people ruining it for everyone else. If everyone just behaved with their drones and did the right things, we could all be having some incredible fun with these drones and getting some great views and experiencing things that you don't see unless you're in a plane. But because people have done the wrong thing over so many years now, like, there's just all this, red tape around it and stuff like that. And everyone frowns upon it now, which is a real shame, because look at the images you can get. Like, it's incredible.
That's right. Yeah. And unfortunately, we all get tarred with the same brush as humans do. And I'm with you. But that's absolutely spectacular, mate. I love it. Cool. So I'll pop up one of mine, which was, so what we didn't talk about was our little trip to Kangaroo Island.
Yes.
Which wasn't a workshop. It was junket. I mean, it was a scouting workshop for Kangaroo Island next year. Sold out, by the way. Sorry, but 2027 maybe. This was at Admiral's Arch, and I think I'd been there a long, long time ago, but I'd forgotten just how bloody good it was there. And I know, Cam, you got a really good vibe out of this place. And not only for the incredible, like the breathtaking scenery of the whole place, but the fact that it was littered with seals. And it was almost like, where's Wally? You look and, oh, hang on, there's one over there, and there's one up on the rocks behind us, and that one that was asleep, which I could have chosen as my shot of that trip. But this is a baby seal, and that seal is, look, I want to say not much bigger than like a football. Like he's sort of this sort of big, like a foot long maybe. Tiny little one. And the vulnerability that we saw in those baby seals, it's like, wow, this is nature at its finest. It's just like, there you go. Yeah. And you could tell that it was wanting to be where its mum was, and its mum was further down the rocks. Yes. And it was almost like mum was like, well, you learn, you come find me. And it's a bit of a safe haven at Admiral's Arch, because I wouldn't have thought, well, if ever, you'd get waves up as far as where this baby seal was. But just to be able to see it, for all intent and purposes, in the wild, let alone be able to photograph it, it felt really special. And getting to share it with you, Cam, as well. I mean, you and I, we just both fell silent, and all you could hear was shutters clicking for a good hour. It was absolutely brilliant. What a great spot.
Did you get this? Are you going to show the shot where it got eaten by the great white like 10 minutes later?
No, that's going to go. That'll go viral next year. That's my 2020.
Oh, right, okay, cool. But no, you're right. That was a what was it? A pleasant surprise, Admiral's Arch. It was. I had never been there, didn't know what to expect, and when we got down there, first thing that caught my eye was just like the rock formations and the little sort of cave outlet that you could see out into the ocean. And then all of a sudden, like you said, it was like, oh, there's a seal there. Oh, there's a group of seals there. Oh my God, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I think at one stage there was one almost under the boardwalk that scared the hell out of us because he started making noises. And so what was disappointing was the masses of crowds that we didn't have there. Yeah. We had the whole place to ourselves for probably a good half an hour, 45 minutes. There was a couple that came down, but as always, just came and had a quick look and took off again. But he was very cute, or she. And he was looking for its mother and trying to figure a way to get up there. And like I said, the vulnerability of that shot, you can see its little eyes and stuff like that. Yeah. It's really thinking, without knowing the location, you could say right behind there is just the wide open ocean with great whites circling around, and this poor little thing's trying to get its bum out of the way. But it was very cool, and looking forward to going back there this year or next year. What time is it?
2026. We'll be there in July, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, I just looked at that. Yeah, it is June.
Okay.
June. And we've got 8 people coming on that, all 8 wonderful people.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be so good. And, I think while we're on the trip, I hatched a plan for a day called Wildlife Wednesday, where we'll get to go to, because Seal Cove on Kangaroo Island is just ridiculous. Like, I could have chosen a seal photo from there as well, but this one sort of sang to me a little bit more.
I literally had to drag you away from that place.
Oh, I could have comfortably spent the rest of the day there and gone back the next day. It was great. Very, very cool.
No, very cool. Yeah.
It's nice.
Very cute little things.
They are. There you go. There's one of yours, Mr. Blake.
Ah, okay. In no particular order. I like it. Oh, there was one of mine.
Oh, what happened then? Hang on. Sorry. I'll go to that one and I'll bring that other one back. My bad.
Okay. Did you take it off the list?
I accidentally did, yes.
Yes. Hey, this is from Scotland as well. Again, I really like Scotland. I think Scotland's I'm sort of just feel like I'm scratching the surface in Scotland of where you can go and what you can see. So we went up for a walk to the Old Manor Store. This is on the second tour. So the Old Manor Store is about an hour and a half climb up to the top. We did one on the first tour and 3 people came along. So Jamie, Lani, and who else? Someone else came with us as well, I believe. And then the rest of them went for a bit of a coffee with Cheryl. And then the next trip, there was a couple of us that went up there as well. So there's Christine, Max, and Anne Williams made it 3/4 of the way up before she decided to turn back. But we had the worst weather on the second trip. This is misty, rain, heavy, off and on, real typical Scottish weather. But we were determined to get up the top to the lookout. It looks back down on the Old Manor Store. And I'm glad we did, because when we got up to the top, we were just under the cloud line. It was sort of rolling over the mountains behind us and sort of creating this sort of mist and mood around there. So this is at the top after about an hour and 45 minutes, hour and a half climbing. We were saturated, like absolutely soaked to the bone. But anyway, we got the shot. The three of us, or two of us got the shot. Three of us got the shot. And the rest of them went to go get coffee and look at Highland cows. So effort equals reward. Cheryl has promised me that next year she's going to do the 2 trips up to the Old Manor Store, which is going to be hard because we're only doing 1 tour. So I don't know if she's going back up again. But
you have to now. She said that, so she's doing 2.
Yeah, we'll wait for it. That's fine. So I made another magical spot on the Isle of Skye. But yeah, it was one of those moments where you just think, okay, we are very uncomfortable here. It is windy. We literally, where we took this photo, we would have spent, after an hour and a half or so climbing, we spent 5 minutes at the top. It was just too uncomfortable, too windy, too wet. So took a few photos and then got our bums back down and started making our way. You can see where the track goes down the bottom. Yeah. The sort of heads from the right-hand side of the frame. It goes through those spires there and then ducks down all the way down to that big lake down the bottom. So yeah, it was good. It's good fun. Wet to the bone. Nice hot shower when we got back. But that's what I know. That's something chemistry inside your brain that makes you feel good about doing that. Like when you get back, you're knackered, you're wet, you're cold, but you feel like you've really accomplished something. And if you got the photos to go with it, I think it really makes it worthwhile. So
yeah, absolutely,
it's good.
No, that's awesome, man. Really cool. And I promise I gave everyone a sneak preview of your amazing Aurora photo. In fact, let's not dilly dally. I'll chuck that one up now. There you go.
So what's that, love? 30, 15.
Yeah, you're up.
Advantage, Cameron. Rightio. So this is a funny one as well. This is in Utah just a couple of months ago. And we came into Moab and I didn't even think to check Aurora forecast because you're so far south of the North Pole. Like it's like might as well be in bloody Uluru or something like that.
Yeah.
So we went out for dinner to the brewery, the Moab Brewery, which again was great and great food and great service. And we're driving back, and I saw a couple of little posts over dinner that there might have been some Aurora action here in Tasmania. I'm like, oh, that's cool. People are going to get a nice shot. It's meant to be a big one. Great, good on them. So we get back to the hotel, and I look at the window. As I'm driving back to the hotel, I could see out the side of my window. I'm like, there's a glow out there. I'm like, can't be the Aurora. It must be. Surely it's like residential or something like that, or maybe there's something on the other side of that hill there. And we got out of the car and I look over the road and I could just see this big glow. I'm like, you're kidding me. So I got my phone out and just did the old 3-second phone test.
Yeah.
I went, holy shit, that is the Aurora. And we'd just driven all the way across from Bryce Canyon. So it'd been a big day. So I said to everyone, I'm like, that looks like the Aurora. Who's going out? And they're all like, I'm knackered. No way. No, I'm going out. I'm like, it looks pretty big. No, I'm going to bed. I'm like, you sure? Yeah, I'm going to bed. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. So no, we get back into our room and I'm sitting there. I've just got itchy trigger finger. So I just said to Cheryl, I said, I'm going out. I said, everyone else will be asleep by now. Like half an hour had gone. I said, people will be asleep. And she's like, really? I'm like, it's big. Like, how many times do you get the chance to get the Northern Lights in Utah? I said, that can't happen very often. So she said, all right. I said, look, I'll wear the flak in the morning if we get flak on it, because there was no way. Like, if I sent a message, everyone was asleep, wouldn't have made a difference. So we just headed out, not knowing what to expect. And we got up into the Arches National Park, which is only 15, 20 minutes from the hotel, and got out at the first sort of place we could. And it was dancing all through the sky like crazy. And I'm like, holy cow, this is pretty full on. The only thing was the Arches National Park road in and out was like a highway. There was headlights every 5 seconds, stoplights. So to get a view on the Aurora with no headlights either shining on the rocks or coming along the road was really, really tricky. So in the end, we got a couple of little moments of 30 seconds where there was no car, did a couple of snaps and away we went. But this is Arches National Park, Utah, with the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. So that was a really good one to tick off, getting the Northern Lights and obviously the Southern Lights in the same year, which is pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah, I wonder if many people can say they've done the North and the Southern Lights in the same year. That's quite.
I just thought about that just then.
Yeah, that's right. There would be the answer would be not many.
I wouldn't think many, but yeah, it was just one of those moments. And then in the morning, of course, like I was sitting on these couple of images. I'm like, oh God, I can't post them online. I can't. Anyway, I gave in. I said, we did go out last night. And they said, oh, did you? And I said, yeah, probably about half an hour, 45 minutes after you guys went to bed. I said, I couldn't help myself. And this is what I got. And one of the guys in the group, Paul, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you let me know? I said, you were the most adamant that you were going to bed. You said you did not want to be woken up or go to bed. So he got over it eventually. So the next night, there was meant to be more action. So we all went out, or most of us went out the next night to have a look. But it just didn't kick off as much as it did this time. So, so that's another example of don't go to bed when someone says there's an aurora on. And I'm going to name names. I'm going to name the one I can remember, which is Rhonda from the Cradle Mountain Tarkine workshop, who went to bed and missed out on the aurora. So sleep, you can sleep later on. You got to get out and do it.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's a breathtaking image for one. But yeah, having that backstory to it now as well is fantastic. And it's epic, man. That's a very, very cool shot and a great experience. So,
and there was one guy there. Yeah, there was one guy there in the car park, rocked up in a big Jeep, and he was just a stoner. You could just tell. He's like, man, this is amazing. And he's like, what do you use? And like he started looking at our cameras. Oh, what settings should I use? I'm like, God, mate, this is like, I don't know if this is a 1 in a million opportunity to see this here. I'm not letting you take it up with your BS. So we were polite, but we sort of moved him on. Yeah. And we got the shots. So yeah, it was good fun. Anyway, over to you, sir. Beat that.
Nicely done. This is Lake Tyrrell on the Mallee trip. So this was cool because I think the Mallee trip we did last time, we didn't get much of a sunrise opportunity on Tyrrell.
No.
And this morning delivered. It was so nice. Like it was good because it was a bit chilly, which was good. So it meant we pretty much had the whole lake to ourselves. But we got there. I mean, it was really barely sunrise. Like we'd only just, it was like first light. And being able to walk out onto the lake, and although there was 8 of us, including you and I, we all sort of scattered.
Yes, we all disappeared in this lake, didn't we?
Yeah, and we all just vanished in different directions and then sort of swung back and caught up later once the sun had come up. And I reckon to a person, we all got different photos, which was fantastic.
Yes.
I just saw this ridge line, which I think it's an old fence line. I'm not 100% sure, but it's obviously where the salt has just gathered over the years. And there's footprints through it and stuff like that. But I just love that line that we got and the simplicity of the image. But again, similar to your other shots there, it's what the memory that it brings back. It's like, no, this was a really cool experience to be out on Tyrrell at sunrise, and sharing it with a workshop as well, which was great. And there was a couple of times I could hear in the distance a couple of yahoos where people were just like, yeah, this is unreal. It was what we came here for. And then, of course, the sun came up and it was just that big orange ball on the horizon. So it was a good Mallee sunrise as well, thrown into an awesome place like Lake Tyrrell. But Tyrrell's one of those places where I think you could go there time and time again and get different images. And I think right now there's a really that sort of Goldilocks covering, just right covering of water where it's only about 3 inches deep. When we were there this time around, it was very dry, but there was a bit of a puddle, for want of a better word, or a pond sort of further out, which I walked over to, but it was littered with footprints. Like it was ruined. Like you couldn't really get anything. And then the only other 2 people that were there that weren't us rocked up with cameras. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm happy just to sort of arc back and walk along this. And as the light improved, it just got better and better. So I really enjoyed shooting Tyrrell that day.
Yeah, I remember, like I said, everyone's scattered out. That was very cool. I was out a bit further, whichever way it was from here. But I remember that got a little bit of wind and there was all this water started to move the wind a little bit. I had a puddle that I was working with as well. Yep. It was very cool. But then I came over to where you guys were, and then there was those salty posts that we took photos of. And then, like I said, the sun came up. But it's funny, isn't it, with like people and footprints? I don't know, like people go in to see these beautiful things, but then they just walk through all the best parts of it. I don't get, like, I know, like even if I'm not taking a photo, if I see something really nice, I don't go walk. Like you can see all the footprints along the line there with the oranges. Yeah. Like, why are people walking there? Like, why don't they walk further out? I don't know.
I can only assume that they're just not photographers, I suppose, and don't think like
but that's not
we might. And I can hear people yelling at the screen now, why didn't you clone them out? I don't know. I left them there on purpose. I know I looked at it and I was like, I could clean that up.
Yeah.
But maybe it's, so we can tell that story or it adds that human element to it, but it certainly gives it a sense of scale because you can see footprints, so you know how big the story is. So.
The story is it's actually the first steps of Flash Gordon. You can see him take a few steps and off he goes.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
He's left his vapor trail on the thing. That's what it is.
Either that or it's Mungo Man popped down to Tyrrell for a visit.
Mungo Man. It almost looks like a train line, like the width of it. There's that little bit. There's a sort of goldy bit and then a bit further out. It looks like an old train line. It's
funny because it's obviously from the prevailing wind. So on the right hand side of that line, as you look at it, there's like a pile of salt that's been walked through 1,000 times because that's the west side, which is the prevailing wind there. So the salt would sort of build up against that.
Yes.
That whatever it is, fence line or whatever it is. But all the textures and stuff that you get out here, and it's definitely one of those places where the more you look, the more you see.
Yes.
You gotta. If anyone's going to Tyrrell, be it with us down the track or going out there on your own, I do highly recommend it. Go to Sea Lake and go to Lake Tyrrell. Just stopping and looking at the patterns that you can find in the salt, and you only have to walk 50 meters from your car and then another 20 meters out onto the salt pan, and you'll just be lost in.
It's very accessible. The accessibility of this place is great, and there's no hills. It's all flat, so you're not going to get tired, which is good. No. You might get some salty shoes, but they sort of bounce off and dust off later on. So
they certainly do. Yeah, no, it's a good spot. All right, let's have another one of yours, Mr. Blake.
This is one that was taken in January last year. It's like one of the first photos I took for 2025. It's a classic spot I've been to 1,000 times, and I've got a photo on the wall over there at the same spot. But I really like this spot. This is out in the southwest of Tassie, down near the bottom of Lake Pedder. But every time I've been here for that photo, I've taken a similar shot. It's usually really vibrant colors and like maybe there's big storms coming through or big sunset colors coming through. This one was just really, really subtle, and it had that little puffy sort of cloud in the middle. So it was sort of, I don't know, maybe an indication that this year was going to be really nice, but maybe a bit not as vibrant in what we saw. And I think my tone of photography throughout the year, I've been looking for those more subtle sort of moments in scenes as opposed to those big classic sunrise and sunsets. I've been sort of chasing different moments where it's not my norm. So, if I'm at somewhere, it's a nice sunrise or sunset, you'll still get that photo. But then I start looking for those more subtle, subdued moments about the scene that, sometimes you miss because you're getting excited about what's going out in the yonder there. So I don't know, there's something about this shot. I know just the sort of pastel colors and the stillness of it all was just something that caught my eye, and it's just unusual to get that shot out there when I've taken a few shots before where it's just been like a big fiery start or end of the day. So, but it's just a very peaceful place. It's a really nice place to go out, and one day I might take you out there. I don't think you've been there.
I was just thinking that I've never actually stood foot in that place. So, we've got a couple of workshops in Tassie next year. So, might stay a day or two longer or come a day or two earlier and go and check that. Probably a day or two after. I find once the workshops are done, we chill a lot more. It's a lot easier to relax and have a round of golf and go to a place like that. That would be awesome. What's golf, Cam? You haven't put a card in since the 25th of January. Just saying. No.
Wow.
How do I know
that? I know. I must be on your Oz Golf Link, am I?
You are.
Does that mean my handicap hasn't changed then?
No, your handicap's better than mine.
Is it?
I have blown out, and this is not a golf show. We'll talk about that later. So I'm going to
put up your next photo, and I'm going to look up the golf thing.
Sure. So this was probably the best morning I photographed in 2025. This was out in the Tarkine, Sumac. Is that right, Cam?
Yeah, Sumac Lookout is
Thank you.
on that Tarkine Drive. Yes, correct.
Which I'd seen before, but not at sunrise. And I think year one we attempted it, but it was no good. No, it was rainy and miserable, so we didn't do it. But this time around, you got that look in your eye first seeing, and you're like, this is going to be good. And because you'd been there multiple times and you knew the conditions. So we got down there and, nature put on a show for us. So Sumac Lookout looks down over the river, and you've got this massive big river valley, I suppose. And it was full of fog and mist. And we're just like, oh, sun, please light this up for us. And it certainly did. The sun came over a ridge out to the right, obviously to the east out to the right. And it just went nuts. Like, it was one of those ones where I think we both knew it was going to be good, but that good, I'm not sure. And the way that it lit up and constantly changed, like you could look away for 5 seconds and look back and look different again. Like the color changed, and then the fog would roll through, and you get more fog here and less fog there. And then these amazing trees just shutting up through the fog like that. And look at those rays. Like it just, it was something else. And to be honest, I probably took about 10, 15 shots and went, oh, that's nice, that's fine. And then it kicked off. I think I took another 150 from there and just kept on going and getting shots and different angles and zooming in on some of these trees. But to me, I kept coming back to this frame for some reason as I'm probably going to say from a landscape perspective, it's the best photo I took this year, probably. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but it was nuts, man. It was such a cool experience.
Yeah, it's when it goes off there, it really goes off because, like you said, it's a big, expansive lookout. Like you're looking over a massive valley, and it's the Arthur River that runs through there. And if you get the right conditions where it's a bit foggy and that sun pops over that ridge, it's game on. And sometimes it's just not enough room on that little platform to get all the angles.
Yeah, I was going to say it is a very expansive lookout, but a narrow platform. So you've got to be. Yeah.
I'm tempted to go up there one day with my little chainsaw and just clear out that a bit because it's forestry Tasmania. They're all bloody. Some of them are not native trees, so you wouldn't be chopping down anything bad, but shrubbery. Just trim around the edges a bit, just to make that view a bit bigger because it's a spectacular spot. But the funny thing about this spot is everyone gets there and the first thing they pull out is their wide angle lens.
Yeah.
And it's such the wrong lens for that location. Like most of these shots are all 200, 300, 400 mil lengths, just shooting. And that's why you can take so many shots. 500 then, yeah. So there's so many locations in that one scene where you can just put your camera lens, point at one, bang. Like you said, you could scatter everywhere around that whole scene with a 400 or 500 mil lens and get 1,000 different shots. So but yeah, that's a cracker. Have you printed that one or canvassed that one, or that'd be?
Haven't done a thing with it yet. It's gonna. I'd like to actually maybe stick it on this wall back here. Now I've got a bit of a blank canvas here as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll work something out with it. But it's cool. I mean, it's a cool shot again because the memory of it, but also the fact that I just couldn't get enough of that place. That was superb.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
There's one for you.
Oh, me again. What's that? Is this? Oh, what's the score now?
I don't know.
Advantage, Cam. Okay. Maybe we should have done.
I think you're serving for the match.
I think soccer would have been better because tennis doesn't have 7 points. So this is Yosemite Valley. This is another one taken just a couple of months ago. I think Yosemite is one of the most prettiest places I've been. I haven't been everywhere, but it's definitely the prettiest place I've been. Every corner is just ridiculous how good it is. So we finished the America trip, and originally I said to Cheryl, I said, what do you want to do afterwards? I've got a couple of days. Do you just want to hang out in Vegas, or do you want to go see some nature? And she's like, I don't mind. We'll go wherever. And I said, maybe we can get around to Yosemite. That'd be really cool. And then I looked at the time that we had left, and I thought, oh, no, we've only got like 3 days. That's not going to work. It's too far to go, et cetera, et cetera. But I'd made a mistake because of the date and time changes overseas. On my calendar, I had us returning on a certain date on the flight, but we actually had an extra 2 days in America that we didn't realize. So I said, bugger this. I said, do you want to go around to Yosemite? She goes, all right, let's give it a go. I said, I'd love to run a workshop here. This is the first place I thought of in the world that I'd love to run a workshop. So anyway, that's 7 hours to drive around there. So we didn't drive all the 7 hours. We had a day off, or took a day off in between. And then we got into there, and you got that big tunnel that goes through the mountain, and you come out, and it's a similar sort of view, but up in the mountains of this one. And we drove around there for 3 days, just shooting everything. Everywhere you look is a picture. This is down in the valley, with obviously the big dead redwood gum or redwood pine or whatever it is in the river there. And then you've got El Capitan, and there's a lovely waterfall there. But this is Ansel Adams territory. This is where Ansel Adams has his official gallery, and this is where he sort of did a lot of his famous work. So you really are just walking through the footsteps of photography legends through here. So it was quite funny on the way around. I was saying to Cheryl, hopefully maybe in 2027, 28, we'll run a workshop here. And she's like, oh, look, I'll go with it, boss. That's fine, whatever. And we came out that tunnel view and pulled over to that very first view. And I reckon we're there for about 3 minutes. She goes, so when do we run this workshop? This is incredible. And then we hadn't even got into the park. So, so we are going to do a workshop. We're going to do a 2028 workshop here, a winter workshop in Yosemite in early 2028. Which will send out all the details. But you've got to get there, Brendan. One place in the world to go visit, Yosemite is off the planet good.
Well, yeah. When you use my full name, I know you're serious, so I'll make sure I get there. I think if I remember rightly, a friend of the channel, Nick Carver, did a series of photos on film at that very location. I remember the dead tree in the foreground, and I was fascinated by it then, and for you to be there as well and to get exactly the same location was awesome. So it's definitely on the bucket list, mate. So we've got a few viewer questions about our bucket list, so we'll come back to that as well. But
I reckon you should, when Abby gets back, take her there.
All right,
take the family on a trip.
We'll just go.
Just do it. Shut the shop. And away you go.
Sure.
I'll run your shop for 2 weeks. You go do Yosemite.
Deal. All right, come over. This is the backyard. This is Point Lonsdale. You've seen it 1,000 times, folks, but this was a moody Lonsdale. Went over there looking for. It was really muggy. This is actually in I want to say October, maybe the first week of October, but it was really humid and muggy very early in the year, and the first sign of the storms were coming across. And the thing, to the naked eye, you would swear that storm was monochrome. It was the weirdest thing. I was looking at it going, there's no color in those clouds whatsoever. It was the oddest thing. And came out that way too. So you can see that it's very flat light. There's nothing in the foreground. The contrast is non-existent really, but the sky was just, I was like, what the hell? So I had to put on the widest that I had, which I think was probably the 7-14 to shoot that. And it was awesome. It was just a great, and it was that first, when spring is in full swing, but it's that first sniff that you get of summer. The first day of northerlies, and you can, things start to warm up. It's one of the best days of the year, and it always sort of surprises you. Like it sneaks up on you when it happens. There's no sort of calendar for it, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's something that people can take away from this, is that you don't necessarily need color for drama. Like, look, that's just got Armageddon written all over it.
Yeah,
it's coming in from the west end. Like standing there taking a photo, you can feel exactly what you described. You can feel that humidity and that heavy sky, that heavy atmosphere. Atmosphere is coming through. It's very cool where you get photos like that, and that's where just being there at the right time and knowing the weather and stuff like that. But look at it; it does look. Did it piss down rain after that?
Yep. This was one of those days where, look, I reckon daylight savings had just started, so that's like early October. And because I locked up the shop and I didn't even go home, I just went straight to Lonnie because I could see this sky.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I'm going to go and shoot this. And when I got over there, I was the only car in the car park. It's just, I love it when that happens. Isn't that the best thing ever? Like you go to, it's going to be a good location, but then you go, holy shit, I've got it all to myself to boot.
But that's because everyone went, hang on a sec, no one would be stupid enough to come out in this weather.
Yeah, I checked my life insurance policy before I went.
And then Brendan said, hold my beer. I'm going out. That kind of sky doesn't happen too often either, where you just get that, like that's violence of turbulence and everything up there. And you don't get that too often. So
the thing is, though, you look at that sky and you think, oh, it must have been really stormy. And later on it was. Right then and there, it was pretty calm. Like
you
can see on the water, there's no white caps. Like it's a bit rough, but there's no white caps or anything like that. And it was it was literally the calm before the storm. But just to look back along the jetty to see that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice backyard.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, here's a Cradle Mountain one. So this is one I took. I was actually just talking to a good friend of the show, Chelsea, today. Caught up with her, and she's doing well. But she wanted to get a copy of the pregnancy shoot that we did in June at Cradle Mountain. So Chelsea had her second baby girl this year, and as always, I will do the pregnancy shots. So we went up to Cradle Mountain in a snowstorm, pretty much, to get shots, because Chelsea is just as crazy as I am. So if she can get out into the weather and get those epic shots, so we got some crazy shots. But this is literally like one of those moments, like we were shooting out to the sort of right of that, and I just turned around. The light on the mountain was just incredible. I literally took 2 shots of this and went, oh, look at that, bang, bang. Okay, back to you, Chelsea, bang. And when I got home and I changed this into black and white, automatically it just popped off the screen. I went, wow, that's actually one of the really nicest shots of Cradle Mountain I like. It's really just spotlighting on Cradle, and the rest of it's sort of falling in the shadow there. But it was just one of those moments where you just there at the right time, the light hit the mountain. And then after that, we barely saw the mountain for the next hour that we were there. So, but yeah, I don't know, like that's one of those places. I was just talking about Yosemite. Like this is Australia's Yosemite National Park. This rivals Yosemite to a point. Yosemite, you can drive a lot more through all the valleys, where Cradle Mountain, you sort of have to stop at Cradle Mountain. But if anyone's got the ability or the opportunity, or walk the overland, the overland track will really give you vibes of Yosemite and wilderness. But yeah, just a black and white. I printed this off the other day, quite big, and I was pretty happy with it. How it came out, so I might get that framed up as well. But it's always good fun to get snowy shots at Cradle.
Do you find as well, like I do when we go to the Summer Apostles, when you go back to Cradle, you get that vibe? That I don't know. For me, not to be too bloody lovey-dovey about it, but I go to the 12 Apostles and I feel like I'm home. I feel really welcomed there, and it's like this is my turf sort of thing. Do you feel like that at Cradle?
Yeah, a little bit. I do. I actually think I get that feeling more at Buffalo.
Oh, there you go.
Mount Buffalo, because I spent so many, and that's really where I sort of cut my teeth, taking photos and learning my craft as such. But when I do get that familiarity when you get back to Cradle, this is going to sound lovey-dovey as well, but I actually think I have a relationship with Cradle Mountain where when I'm arriving, she'll pop her head out and say g'day. I don't know how many times I've been there where it's just been shite weather the whole way. I go down to the Dove Lake and it just pops out for 5 seconds and says g'day and then pops back. So I have a real appreciation for Cradle Mountain. I think I think it's a spectacular place. It's got a lot of significance to it, both for nature and obviously, indigenous and geology, and it's got all the history of everything. So I think if you respect the place and love a place, I think generally it'll reward you when you go back there. So like you said, the 12 Apostles for you and Buffalo for me and things like that. I think if you treat the place nice, Mother Nature will repay you in kindness, I think.
Yeah, most certainly. And it's funny though, because it's a feeling like, and it's like, when you like a smell can trigger a certain memory. It's just like when you come to, for me at the Apostles, it's literally that when you first see them, you're at the top of those stairs. It is a breathtaking view. And I've said this before on the show that I think personally, I think that is probably the best lookout in the world. One of the best lookouts in the world, particularly for when you take new people there and they just go, okay, I get it. I see now why people flock to this location. So,
and I think that adds to the romance that we have with those locations as well, because you get a sense of pride. Like it's not yours. Like we don't own the 12 Apostles or Cradle Mountain or whatever, but when you take people who haven't seen it to go look at it, like you sort of feel like a sense of pride that, hey, this is my location I love. Now I can share that with you.
That's probably
I know whenever you go to Cradle Mountain, you sort of go along the road and there's a little bit where the mountain disappears for a bit behind a little hill. And then you come around that last sort of corner and there it is right there. And if it's out, I've never heard anyone in the car say anything but, oh, wow. Like it just stands out. So
Yeah.
You always get a bit giddy, like, yeah, this is my mountain. I'm showing him.
Well, that's right. Backyard. And then the beauty of both of those locations is that they change on the hour. Like, well, Cradle can change every 5 seconds.
It does.
But the 12 Apostles, it really does. Every hour the light's slightly different. It's and then you get the sunset behind it or sunrise on the other side. So yeah, no, they're good spots. I could rabbit on all day about both of those locations. But that, Cam, is a cracker. I like it.
Hey,
this is we were talking about drones earlier.
Yes.
And I had a bit of a drought with the drone. I hadn't flown it for a while. And I thought, I'm going to break it out. These are the bridges that lead over to Barwon Heads from the Ocean Grove side where I am. So that's the Barwon River. The color that you see there in the water, that is the color. That's how it looks. It's remarkable that here in the southern coast of Victoria that we get turquoise and greens and blues and stuff in the water like that. And what I always tell people is when you're in a drone and you got this is almost bird's eye. It's not looking straight down. It's looking a little bit sort of angled. You cut out all the glare. The sun is now above you. You're following the sunlight down rather than looking across where the sun's reflecting and all the glare goes. So it's almost like a polarizer, but you're just getting that vertical orientation. And the colors that you get there, people don't believe me. They're like, that's not Barwon Heads. It's like, that's Barwon Heads.
Yeah. I think it's something that the drones do so well, isn't it? They not only do they give you that different bird's eye view, but they, like you said, they'll bring out different colors and patterns that you just don't see on the ground. So like the color in that water is really lovely, especially that top right-hand side of it, really lovely there. But I also love the sand along the edge. You can see all the different tidal bits, levels of tide, and then you got the dry sand. And so you sort of see, you just see things that you don't see. And the little car, like you don't see cars like that. You generally just sit next to them.
Yeah. So but I on purpose left the car there because it, again, the sense of scale, so it shows, it really does give you granny, aside from the group of boys at the top that are playing French cricket.
Circle. Oh yes, that's right. And where's Brendan? Under the bridge?
In this one, Brendan's off to the left in there's a little park bench there. I do have a photo up at the shop that's got me in it, and I call it the ultimate selfie, but it's a massive wide angle shot of the bridges here, and people have got to find me in it, and it's it's fun. So
the color's really nice. Yeah, and I like the silver playoff as well, like the car and the silver and like the car's almost the same color as the turquoise water as well, which clearly you waited for that car to come through with a similar color.
I'll be honest, I was hoping for a red one, but that's fine.
You could have changed it to red.
I could have done that these days, but no. And I think the road color itself kind of anchors this image quite well. So it might be a little bit distracting, but it sort of anchors the image pretty well, I think. So
you know what you needed? You needed someone riding a bike the other way, a red bike
on the footbridge. That's right.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That might have been good. So all right, I've actually got a photo in mind. I've wanted to do this for years, and I know a dude that's got 3 combis. So I want to get 3 combis with surfboards on the roof, and I want to get the line driving towards Barwon Heads, low angle, the bluff behind, the whole bit. So I'm gonna talk to him, and it'll be one of those things. You get there and drive past a few times and go up around the roundabout and do a couple of passes, and I'll give you full usage rights of the photo. It's just a photo that I want.
Do it.
So one day I'll get there. There we go.
Yes, Uluru. This is the first trip we did with World Expeditions this year to Gared Centre, and that was the first time I'd laid eyes on Uluru. I'd never been there before, and I must admit, from this angle, I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a big rock. It's pretty cool. It's got some cool colours. We've got that classic sort of outback sunset going on there, or sunrise. Might be sunrise, that one." And I thought that was pretty cool. It wasn't until we got up close to the rock and did a bit of a walk around the rock that I was really taken by how big it is and how much cool stuff's around that rock. But yeah, this is just sort of one of the first times I saw Uluru and got a decent shot of it. So a bit of a, like I said, a bit of a highlight to see that. I think it's something that every Australian should go and do, is go and visit the Red Centre and have a look around. It is quite spectacular, and you just we understand it because we live here, but so many people don't understand just how big this freaking joint is. It's a big place. Australia is huge, and this little big rock, I'll call it, is smack bang in the middle pretty much. It's huge, but when you see it from the air and you fly over, you fly 5 hours from Melbourne to get up there or whatever, and you're flying over desert, it's just, it's a big place. And I think this sort of represents just how big Australia is. You've got this giant rock, but it can still look so small in this giant landscape. So cool place. I think you would have been there before, obviously.
Yeah, I first went to Uluru in '96, and it was it was spiritual. Like, it was one of those places, again, where similar to you, where you sort of see it. And we got there just in time for sunset. The first day we got there, we'd traveled for a couple of days to drive out there. And, you see it and it's like, that's cool. Like, it's so iconic. But then the next day we drove out for the sunrise and then continued on to the rock itself. And it hits you. It hits you hard. Like, it's so cool. And, the culture that's out there, the ancient culture that's out there, is one thing, but the ancient landscape. I mean, with the desert oaks, and I mean, you got some nice grasses there, which is good. I don't remember seeing as much grass when I was there. I was there in September, I think, '96, the first time around, and the next time around, it was just it was really dry, so we didn't see any grasses like you've got there. But seeing that, and then going out and doing Katajuta as well, it's unreal. It's unreal.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, I know, we sort of harp on about, feeling that sort of connection and that spirituality. I'm not a spiritual person by any stretch of the imagination, but when you go stand at these places, you can 100% understand why the Indigenous feel connected to that land. 100%. Like, there's no doubt as to why they feel so strongly about the land that they live on. They've been walking around this land for 30, 40,000 years. They must feel connected to it. And I must admit, like, when I got there, like, I'm an Australian, but, I'm a white Australian, imported from the UK at some stage back in generations ago. But like, you feel like, okay, this is where I live. This is my country. And, to be able to see these amazing features of your country, I think I think we spend too much time not exploring our own backyard. And I've been guilty of that. I really haven't seen much of Outback Australia and things like that. But now I've seen a bit of a taste of it. I'm like, all right, I want to go. I want to go to the Kimberley. I want to go to the, the Bungle Bungles. I want to go to Katajuna, or Karajini or whatever it is, and check all these places out, because it's an amazing country and it's got so many photographic opportunities as well. So,
question without notice: did you clip a big lens on at any point when you were shooting that? Just the detail on the rock there looks pretty awesome under that light.
I think I did. I think I might have, maybe not a big lens. I think I might have just sort of filled the frame up a bit more with the rock. But again, I'm a bit like you on this one. I've looked at most of the images, but I haven't played around with a lot of them. So there's probably a couple of gems sitting there ready to be touched up at some stage. So we'll see. Yeah.
My dad, I think I've told this story before. My dad used to run coach tours out there, and with school groups. He was a coach driver, and he sent me some photos one day when it was raining on the rock.
That's the ultimate for me.
It's like, come on, Dad, like, it's not enough just to be in an awesome place. You get to see that as well. Like, and Dad's no photographer, but even the shots he got was just like, with waterfalls coming off the side of Uluru. It's remarkable.
That's got to be up there in the top 2 or 3 bucket list items for me as a photographer, is to get that classic shot of waterfalls running off the rock. Would be pretty cool. So one day. Hey, you're going to put up another photo. I'm going to quickly duck out for a couple of seconds and I'll be back.
That's fine.
I'll mute myself and you can talk your way through the next image.
That's fine.
Okay.
So what we've got here, this was the sunset. This is again, October was a very fruitful month for me, because I was down on the beach. This is my own beach here in Ocean Grove. I don't live too far from here, and this is a great area because you're allowed to take your dog off lead along this beach for, I think, 11 months of the year. So I took Buddy the Wonder Dog, who's a friend of the show and has actually appeared on the channel over the journey, down for a walk. But of course, whenever I go to the beach, I have to take my camera gear with me. And I hadn't long had the Nikon Z5 Mark II and a nice wide angle lens. And I just thought, you know what, I think there's going to be some kind of sunset. And we had cloud with gaps in the cloud. So always lends itself to a classic where you get the starburst coming through. So tripod time, I took my shoes and socks off, got out into the water, got my tripod completely submerged in salt water because I look after my gear so well. And basically pointed it directly at the sun for something there. And then it just popped through. You can see it's quite just a little sliver of a gap in the clouds there. And it just kicked off. I think this is around F16 to be able to get the starburst like that. But of course that slowed the shutter down a little bit, which was good, which is what I wanted. Slight bit of blur on the water in the foreground as well. Another one of those shots similar to your shot earlier, Cam, where it's just really a bit of a change in contrast. And that was it for the edit, which I'm really enjoying. And I don't know, but I don't know what it is, but I think with the Nikon gear, I feel like I'm getting more keepers with it. I'm not sure. And I don't know whether that's just because it's a newer toy and I'm maybe putting a bit more thought back into my photography. I'm not sure, but it was just, again, one of those moments where no one else on the beach. We get a period before the silly season. So October, November, and early December, where you just get the whole place yourself. And it was one of those. And it was quite funny because generally speaking, if you ever want to have your photos ruined, just take a Labrador for a walk on the beach. Whatever direction I point my camera, guarantee you, buddy, will run into the frame. So it's almost like he knows. And I just got to wait. And so he'd actually just trotted straight through the middle of this shot. And then luckily that wave formed in the foreground. I was like, right, I'll have that. And then buddy was back in the frame. So I've got this as a massive 1.5 meters by 1 meter canvas on the back wall of my shop, and it gets a lot of nice comments. So it was another one of those nights where I needed to get out and take some photos and managed to get that in my own backyard. Yeah,
you know what they say: don't work with children and pets. It's,
children and animals. That's right.
Yeah. Is that Barwon Head's Bluff or the?
Yeah, that's the Bluff. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you look just to the right of the sun, you can see looks like a hill. That's the lookout at Ocean Grove. So probably back this way about 2.5-3 k's from the lookout. Called
I think what really works for me on this shot is just that, like I said, that little bit of movement in the wave. I think that's almost the perfect time of movement. Just to give it that shot of movement without too much else going on with distracting from the light. But it's almost got that sort of camouflagey pattern all going through that foreground, which is very cool. I like when I look at this photo, I can feel the water rushing around my feet. And I'm only I'd only be in 6 inches of water, but it's all you need to be able to reflect the light and get those little waves in as well. Because you did 2 in a row, I get to finish with 2 in a row. I don't know, it's just how that works. Cool. So this is my last one. So this was Sarah Ann Rocks, Cam. Yes, it is Sarah Ann Rocks.
This was on the Tarkine Cradle tour that we did. So as I said, 2 shots of my best of 2025 from that one tour / workshop. This was where I jumped across to the other side, and you guys were on the right-hand side there, and I climbed up to the lookout and went, it's quite windy here.
Was that the lookout that we said to people, just don't go too far, don't go around, don't go crazy, and then everyone turns over and there's Brendan on top of a cliff face taking this epic shot.
Do as I say, not as I do. It was irresistible though, because it was like I could see the peak, and the higher I got, the better the lookout got. And all I wanted was that peak that's almost in the center. Well, it's right of center. I wanted that below the horizon. Because it was intersecting with the horizon. I'm like, no, just a little bit higher, just a little. And then, so it's,
again, the water movement in this one's perfect as well. Like that little bit of movement and nice little rain shower at the back left, and it's a cool spot.
That's about 3 seconds there, I think. It was a 3-second exposure from 3.
That's pretty impressive in that wind, because it was blowing. It was blowing.
Behind the scenes, I have got one hand on top of the camera. I've got the strap of the camera wrapped around the tripod and pushing it all down to hold it in place to get the shot.
Yeah.
So, but again, being such a wide angle though, you can get away with a bit of movement. If you zoom it right up, it's not pin sharp, but it doesn't have to be when it's broad like that. So.
Nah. That's this classic Tarkine coastline, isn't it? So, well, there you go. That was pretty cool. Reliving 2025.
That's terrible of me. That's awful.
Yeah, that's okay. That's how we work on this show.
Well, this is true. Cool. So that's a little sample of what we got up to in 2025. I probably could have spent a bit longer and gone through a lot more photos as well, but I mean, only because the trips that we did were the ones for me that yielded the most images, and I'm sure and obviously a lot of yours came from trips as well. Yeah. So that's
I'd hate to have a look at how many photos I took this year. Be tens of thousands.
It's a little added bonus we get, isn't it, from running workshops in great places? We get to take some nice photos while we're there as well. So
only after the guests have got theirs, of course.
Unlike
some other businesses who tend to go, there's your photograph. We'll be back in a few hours while we go get ours.
Should I be clever and put the viewers' questions actually on the screen, or?
Look, you can try. I can fill a bit while you're doing that. So we're going to go through a series of questions that you put out on Facebook, our Facebook page. If you're not following our Facebook page, Down South Photo Show on Facebook and Instagram, be sure to get on there and follow us. But Brendan put out a bit of a call for some photos for this show. I actually thought we'd left it a bit late, but I was wrong 100% because we got probably a dozen photos or so.
Right.
A dozen photos, dozen questions.
Let's see how this works. Hey!
Oh, Chelsea's not good at punctuation, though, is she?
Well, that's my cutting and pasting, but I'll fix that. hang on. No, we can't have that. We can't have
not with Chelsea. If you use Chelsea,
no, that's right. I was just thinking that exact same. So,
she would have your balls in a vice. Yeah, that's better.
There we go.
That's better. Yeah.
Okay. Over to you, Cam. You can answer that one.
Oh, okay. So Chelsea Wall, what do you plan on doing more of in 2026? Doing more of, not less of, more of. I think next year I'm going to try and do some more film photography, like large format film. I've been out in the last couple of days up Mount Wellington here, dusting off the cobwebs on my large 5x4 camera. I've been shooting some Provia 100F at $10 a pop. Probably making mistakes every time I do it. But I think, I don't know, like, to me, shooting film is still that ultimate slow down, Cam, get it right, take your time. So that's what I think. I might even see if I can set myself a challenge for every workshop, do a roll of film or something like that. Maybe not the sheet photography because that takes a bit longer to do, but maybe take my 35mm camera along and do a roll of film for each workshop. But yeah, I think what I'll do more of is maybe doing more film photography, old school. Yeah. How about you?
Look, and this is going to sound like the dumbest answer of all time, but take more photos, man. Like, I actually think the last couple of years have been a lot more productive for me in terms of getting behind the lens, and that's due to going on the workshops with yourself. Utah last year, and then the extra ones we've done this year as well, and the ones we did last year. But just take more photos. Like I think I was guilty. Maybe it was a hangover from COVID years. I'm not sure, but it's almost like since we started this show, like I was taking fewer photos than ever, which is ironic. But I think just getting out and taking more photos. And I think what's driving that is the feeling I get when I take photos. I need more of that, and it's a good work-life balance. And it's not a work balance. It is a proper work-life balance. And to me, photography is life. So that's why I think I want to just get out there and literally take more photos, Chelsea. So definitely.
Yeah. Does Sally tell you to get out and take photos? Does she say, "Hey, Brendan,
all the
get out of the
time.
Get out of the house. You're annoying the shit out of me."
All the time. Go. No, she doesn't say that. She just basically says, "Why don't you go?" And she's right.
Yeah,
they're always right, Cam. They're always right.
They're always right.
Chelsea's got a follow-up question there for you.
I'll just become the Chelsea Wall bloody show, is it? Jesus. What's the biggest challenge you've had photographically? Biggest challenge photographically for me. That's a big one, but I I would probably say the biggest challenge photographically for me is using my large format 5x4 sheet film camera. Like that's today I was on Mount Wellington on the organ pipes track taking some shots of some waratah, the native waratah that's out, and I had the camera all set up, and this family they lived in Perth, but they were from Canada, were walking along, and there was people climbing up the organ pipe, so there was some rock climbers, and they thought I was taking a photo of that with this big bellows, large format camera. And she goes, "Oh, they commissioned you to take photos of them." I go, No, I'm actually taking photos of the flower just in front there. And she's like, "Oh," she goes, what is this that you're using?" I'm like, "This is old school. It's like sheet film, bellows, all these movements and things like that." She goes, "Oh, that looks technical." And it is. And unless someone's been doing it for quite a long time, it is a bit of a challenge. So for me, photographically, getting the consistency out of that camera that I can get out of my other cameras. I can shoot 35mm quite consistently, but these large sheet film, you got all the front element movements of the lens and the back, and it's just fiddly. So that's probably the biggest challenge I've had is getting consistency out of that camera.
Yeah. Okay. And the whole time you were talking, I was just listening to you instead of thinking of my own answer.
There you go. Your biggest challenge photographically is listening to what the question is and not listening to me.
That's exactly right. My biggest challenge I've had photographically this year, that is a tricky one. Probably the Santa photos I did a few weeks ago.
Right.
Oh, mate, why do I do it?
Animals.
Oh,
I'm surprised you're working with child license got renewed. That's a shock to me.
That's true. It is up to date as well. No, it's just it's a funny thing because it's not my scene. Like it's completely out of my comfort zone. But it's funny though. But I guess even doing something as rudimentary as that. I mean, I was literally just flash on friggin' program mode. Let's just get these shots done. Composition's good. That looks fine. Shoot. But even doing something like that taught me stuff about flash power and taught me stuff about how quickly the flash recycles and taught me how to communicate with a model, like with kids, with Santa. Like I had to tell Santa off at one point.
Santa, put the beer away, Santa. You can't be drinking while we're working.
So I pointed this is the first couple of shots.
Do we need to bleep this out?
He's not
okay.
Watching. And
he's done for the year.
And it'd be like, okay, look at the camera. And the Santa wasn't allowed to have kids on his lap anymore. They can't do that. All that sort of stuff. Couldn't touch the kids. You know how it is. And
Brendan, I'd go, meant to touch kids.
And I'd go, all right. And I'm about to have the shot. And Santa would go, he did these like jazz hands. Like Santa. God. And I had to say, like, "Oh, Santa, if you wouldn't mind just putting your hands by side, putting your hands
Bob
down." But I'm like, Santa, please. Anyway, so
that's not your first gig, Santa.
Completely off topic, but yeah.
So now your biggest photographic challenge this year was dealing with Santa, by the sound of it.
There you go. How about that? I think that's probably recency bias, but that's what happened. Here we go.
Yeah.
Tammy Wilson.
Will you be running any day tours in Tassie this year? Well, we've thought about it, haven't we? I think we should. I think we could definitely run a single day. Like we had to pull the pin on our January workshops up that we normally do. We just didn't get the numbers for some reason this year. I think we may have worn that out a bit. That one we've done that for a few years now, but Tassie would definitely work. We could certainly do a long weekend. We could do 3 single day ones or even a 2-day one or something like that.
Yeah.
Out of Hobart would be easy. You can get up to Mount Field or you can go down to Port Arthur it could be done. We just got to find a weekend that works for us to get people down here. So I guess watch this space, Tammy.
Comment below if that interests you. If for us to do the 1 day stuff down in Tassie, I'm all for it. Of course, I think it could be on the back end of one of the tours we're doing down there this year. I could hang around for another 3, 4, 5 days, whatever, and do a couple of 1 days, something like that. Or
I'm pretty sure we could if we did one out of Launceston, we could easily do a one-day workshop out at Barnbougle. It's this place called Barnbougle. It's got some incredible dunes,
I've heard of it.
Beautiful coastline. It's got a restaurant there if we want to have some lunch. All you'd need to do is bring your camera along, but probably if you could do a little bit of practice, like pushing trolleys at the supermarket for a couple of days, and then that should
either that or be off less than 18 and you're in.
Are we off less than 18? I've been trying to get into my golf league thing. I can't get into it. Anyway, we're not a golf show, but
it's disgraceful.
But no, Tammy, I think we could if people are interested. Like we've got a Tassie following as well, so people are happy to come down to Tassie for a long weekend to do stuff. So by all means, definitely.
And that's a good one for you too, because you can roll out of bed and do a workshop. But one around Hobart and one around Lonnie would certainly work for sure. So that aside as well, I mean, running. We won't write off, running one-day workshops back here again. Like, it's not like we're never going to do them again, but maybe next summer we might look at that again, or maybe even doing a one-day Great Ocean Road thing, or people are happy to meet us down there at the 12 Apostles or something like that. It doesn't have to be our own backyards. It can be somewhere else where we might do like back-to-back one-day workshops with two different groups or something like that. So anyway, that's definitely on the cards. Here's a question from friend of the show, Pete Langdon.
What is the best piece of kit you have?
That's a good question.
Ooh, what's the best piece of kit I have?
Define best. I mean, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Come on, Pete. The best piece of kit I have, I think maybe, it's probably the camera I've got. It doesn't really matter what piece of kit it is. It's probably the camera. It sounds cliche, but the best camera is the one you've got in your hand. The best piece of equipment I'd probably say at the moment, I would say it is probably I've changed over a few things, and I'm now shooting with the Leica SL3, and I'm really quite happy with that. It's a good piece of kit. It's got good megapixels, got good files that come out of it. So probably the SL3 for me at the moment. But that, no doubt, that'll change 3 times throughout next year. So, but yeah, that'll do me. The SL3 digital camera.
Well, I'll give you my wanky answer first. And the best piece of kit I have is 35 years of experience. Thank you very much. But thank you. The actual answer to that, it is a tough one. What's the best piece of kit you have? I think the piece of kit that gives me the most joy, I think, is my drone. I think shooting with my drone, I quite enjoy. But in terms of technically, the best piece of kit I've got is the Z5 Mark II that I acquired this year, which I'll say it again, I still think it was the best camera released this year. Not just because I bought it, but across the board. If someone said, tell me what the best camera was this year, it was that.
Yeah.
Number one, first and foremost, because of value for money. Thank you, Nikon. Yeah. Thank you for making an affordable camera for the masses. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I think also, I think what's also, I appreciate you. I think what's interesting as well about that question, what's the best piece of equipment you have? I don't think you can answer that, because I don't think it's the equipment that makes the photographer. I think it's the photographer that makes the equipment. So I've been trying to drill this into all my guests for the last couple of years, is you can rock up with the most expensive camera, the most cheapest camera. Doesn't matter what you're shooting with. If you have a good understanding of photography, composition, lighting, settings, you can use any camera you want and it'll get you the same results. So I think asking people what the best piece of kit you have is a bit tricky. I think when people are looking to buy a piece of kit, don't always think bigger and better is the best, because it's not always the case. Like you said, the Z Nikon that you bought, that's not the top of the line Nikon you've bought, but it still does an amazing job, and someone who's capable of using it can get some great results. So yeah, so don't always think that the most expensive and top of the line camera is the best, because I don't believe that at all.
So my wanky answer of experience kind of rings true.
Yeah, that's it. Wanker.
Thank you. John Latimer, what was your photography highlight of the year. Well, we probably already answered this as we went through. If you don't mind, I'll go first on this one.
I'll get another drink.
The standout was probably that Sumac Sunrise. If I had to pick one, I mean, there was lots I'm very grateful for, but if I had to pick one, that Sumac Sunrise really spun my wheels. Just for the awe of it, but also later that very day, the surfers at where were we? Marrowa, thank you. On the northwest coast of Tassie, there was something hip about that, and I think partly was the fact that we were bathed in sunshine, we were with great people, we're at an awesome location, and the surf was up, so that was cool too. But if I had to pick one, I think it was the sunrise at Sumac. I'm trying to think what else happened this year, but for now, that would be it. Yeah.
Very cool. Photography highlight for me. I'm going to give you a wanky answer.
We're both very good at doing that, mate. Come on, that's fine.
I'll give you my official answer first. The highlight for me, photography highlight of the year was probably that morning at the Kerrang up in Scotland, where I got that original drone shot from. That was just one of those ones out of the box where the light just did absolutely everything we wanted it to at a really cool location. So that sticks in my mind. Like, it's one of those moments where you can transport yourself right back to that spot and sort of visualize what you were doing. I'm going to give a soppy, wankery answer for that's the shot. But the photography highlight for the year for me wasn't actually about me. So I've obviously got Cheryl that helps me out. Her and I have become really good friends, and, we travel together a lot. So she's got to put up with me and I've got to put up with her. But her grandfather always wanted to visit the Grand Canyon, but unfortunately never got there. He obviously passed away before he had a chance to do it. But Cheryl had a chance to go there this year, as you did the year before. And she had a little frame of her grandfather that she actually went and took a photo of him and the Grand Canyon at the same spot. And she teed it up with me beforehand. She said, look, at some stage, do you mind if I'm like, take an hour, take 2 hours, do what you need to do. That's fine. Because I'm an awesome boss, I said, I'm going to self-praise myself here, but I said, you do what you need to do. Anyway, she sort of quietly just snuck off. I didn't realize that she'd actually left. And I will take in the photos of the Grand Canyon where we did on that sunset there. And I could turn around and I could see her just in a little spot on her own, setting up the frame and doing this little shot. And, even though it was just more of a bit of a happy, snappy kind of moment, she took all her time to set it up and point it towards the light, right? And she didn't know I was watching her, but I thought, you know what, that's a highlight for me, is that really photography is about creating memories. And her grandfather wasn't able to create that memory because he passed away before he had a chance. But, she was able to carry that torch, so to speak. So to me, that was a bit of a highlight. And, I love those little bits and pieces. Like, we've had other people who, there was someone in Scotland who I think their friend wanted to get there, wasn't able to get there, and they were able to go there and sort of tell them all about it. So there's those moments within the workshops that we do that really are nothing about taking the photo, but more about just photography in a general light being a bit of a highlight for people. So they're my two, one wanky, soppy answer and one proper answer, if that makes sense.
I think they're both fantastic answers. That's great. And while you were talking as well, it, of course, triggered a memory for me, and that was we went up to on BFOP. The first day of BFOP, we took the big bus trip up to the view from Hotham, and there was a lady up there that got quite emotional, which was cool. I got emotional because I think for the first time she was able to capture a scene how she thought she wanted to. She actually thanked both of us, Charlie and I. She said, this is amazing because now I can see and now I can get it. And she said, when we got here, there was all these layers across to Mount Buffalo, and it looked amazing. And she panicked. She's like, how on earth am I going to capture this? And then she did. And she was chuffed. So that, you're right. Those kind of, more than just actually taking a photo, but the memories around it as well. So
I think it's important that people remember that as well. Like, a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves for photography. It's like, I'm going to these places, I've got to get the shot, I've got to get this. Yes, you'll get the shot, and maybe it's not exactly the conditions you want, or maybe not the shot you want, but it's the whole experience of being there. Like, there's so many people I can think of on different trips that I've been on where, like you said, there's been that little moment where they're just gone, I can't believe I'm standing here. Even I've got a little photography hub Facebook group that I put my clients in, and Bruce, who came to America, just put up some photos from Utah today. And he wrote, this is why I finally got around to editing my shots, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe I was standing here. This is still amazing to me. They're the photography highlights for me. They really are.
And just as an aside, like when I was at the Grand Canyon with you, and I'd never been there before, and it was quite a thing, I FaceTimed my dad.
Yes.
And this is where he and I are a little different, because I FaceTime and said, "Hey, Dad, here's the Grand Canyon." He goes, "Oh, that's a fantastic. Now, what are you doing for Christmas?"
Yeah, nothing says that. Nothing says amazing like that, Dad. Thank you.
Good on you, Dad. Yep, no worries. Okay, fine. I'm on the other side of the planet. This message is literally going to space, but don't worry about that. I'll tell you what I'm doing for Christmas.
The other thing that was quite funny, we saw a few times, is people at the Grand Canyon, like FaceTiming. "Hey, I'm at the Grand Canyon." They're not showing the other person. They're just showing it like, I've seen your face everywhere. point the camera the other way so I can actually see the Grand Canyon.
There was a lot of that going on, wasn't there? Yeah.
Oh, it's happened this year as well. It's like, point the like they can still hear you. They don't have to see you.
Yeah, there you go. That's for you, that one.
Oh, Kev Morse, question for Ken: without your OM gear and the big white lens, how do you plan on taking wildlife photographs for 2026? Same way I always do, Kev. I'll just put a big lens on my new camera and do the same thing. Yes, I got rid of all my OM gear. Just wasn't going to continue to support a company that wasn't supporting me, and had a bit of a moment somewhere along the way where I just when you have a bit of a moment, you're like, what am I doing this for? Why am I wasting my time?
An epiphany. You had an epiphany.
I had an epiphany, and I can tell you where it was. It was in the Darwin airport just before I left Kakadu. And I went, and literally I made a decision on that flight back home. I went, getting rid of it all, and it's all gone. I've got a couple of old bodies left. I've got all my film camera stuff left, because that was when they were a cool company. At the moment, I just have no time for them, and so I've got rid of it all. The white lens, amazing lens, phenomenal lens, and a local guy down here picked it up, so I'm really happy with that. But I've got a 300mm for my Leica. That's what I'll be using for wildlife. I'll probably crop in a little bit once I've done, but no big qualms for me. I'll just move on and still get some good shots if I can with a different camera brand.
Perfect. Nice.
End of story.
Dave Marland, what is one place you have not been to and want to photograph in 2026?
You go.
What is one place you have not been to and want to photograph in 2026? Well, one place I've not been to, that's endless. There's the whole world. There's loads of different places. I'm so desperate to get back to Africa. Did Africa in 2003, but just didn't. It was more of a holiday, and it wasn't. I took a big lens, and I had shot a lot of film then, and got some nice shots. Like, I was happy with what I got, but the wildlife blew my mind. Yeah. I wish I knew then and had then what I have now. Right. And so I'd love to give it another crack. And as luck would have it, there is another Cricket World Cup coming up in Southern Africa in 2 years' time. So might get that to marry all up together. Namibia, that's in Namibia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe in 2027. So that could be a go.
It's funny you mention Africa. I have about a dozen people demanding that I do a Africa wildlife tour.
Demanding it.
Yeah, demanding it. I've had one lady said, "Do it before I die," which I thought was pretty extreme. But when you went there, did you do it by yourself, or did you go on a tour or anything like that? Or?
So the wife and I went, and we had 24 days on an overland truck where we went from Cape Town all the way up the west coast of South Africa into Namibia. Namibia is absolutely brilliant for a photographer. Vast distances, similar to Australia, vast distances between places. Just the desert there is like, it's desert, man. Like, there ain't no water anywhere ever. It's amazing. There's an area there called the Dead Fly, where you've got Dead Fly, that's with a V, where it's all the fossilized petrified trees.
Yes, yeah.
But with massive big red sand dunes behind.
I've seen that. I've seen those shots. Yeah,
just absolutely nuts. And then you go into places like the Okavango Delta, which was brilliant. And then over to like Vic Falls, and our tour actually finished in Vic Falls. But then we had about 3 or 4 weeks following the Cricket World Cup in 2003. So we went to a lot of matches in that. So in answer to your question, we did half on a tour and half on our own.
Yeah, okay. Okay, maybe food for thought. Maybe Down South Photo Show Africa tour.
Oh, look, it'd be pretty cool. You'd certainly get a yes out of me. But funny, and again, while I was talking, I just remembered that I'm actually going to the Simpson Desert this year, which is that's going to be a place I get to photograph in 2026. Just me and a couple of mates in their 4-wheel drives. I don't have to worry about it. They just wanted me to come along and document it, basically. So going to go a couple of weeks out in the Simpson and, photograph a desert that I've never been to. So I'm looking forward to that. And one place I've not been, but I want to photograph. I'm getting a bit of an itching for the Faroe Islands. That'd be pretty cool. Antarctica's on the top of the list. That'd be very cool to go down there as well. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And Patagonia. Patagonia is another one I'd like to go, and that's another one I'm getting quite a lot of inquiries about. So that's one of the absolute beauties of the job we do, is that people can say we want to go somewhere and we get to go with them. So we'll see how we go. It could be a next couple of big years coming up, but yeah, one of those 2 places or 3 places would be good.
Yeah, Patagonia just looks ridiculous. Patagonia looks fake. It's that good.
It does look fake.
Yeah,
it looks too screensaverish.
Yeah, it does. Here we go. Friend of the show, Samantha Olsen. What is the biggest problem you ever encountered on a workshop, and how did you solve it? Well,
who goes first on this one, Brendan?
Because it's probably the same thing. Well,
I've had a couple. Wow, probably the biggest problem I've ever encountered on a workshop was a customer getting very unwell.
Yes.
That was probably my biggest problem.
Yeah.
So getting someone who was very unwell to the help they needed very quickly was a bigger problem we encountered, which worked. They made it through the other side, and I can happy to say they're still kicking on and still going well. Hello to them if they're watching. They know who they are. So that'll probably be the biggest problem I've had on a workshop. There's been other problems on workshops, but one in particular that you're probably thinking of, and that probably a few people who ask this question are thinking of, that doesn't deserve any oxygen as far as I'm concerned.
And we won't give it any.
No. But yeah, to me, it's probably a customer getting unwell. Having said that, this is where I will throw someone under the bus. I said it at the start of the show I was going to do it. Now I'm going to do it. So this biggest problem I had was a customer getting unwell in Utah on the first trip. The second trip that we did last year, when you weren't there, you went home. You missed all the excitement.
I did.
You may have been excitemented out after the first one. So we're in Zion. This person got unwell. We had to take him to Hurricane Hospital. They then got moved on to another hospital. So it was a big shenanigans getting them all the help they needed and ambulances and all that kind of stuff. So we get there this year to Zion National Park, and this is the first time that you and Daniel weren't there, so I had Cheryl with me. The first morning sunrise, we had 2 cars. They were parked separately at the little hotel, same hotel where we stayed. But we had the 2-way radios going. I thought, we'll turn them on now. So let me know when you're backing out of the car and we'll take off together to go do our first sunrise. And I'm sitting in the car. I'm ready to go. My group's ready to go. And I'm like, oh, hey, Cheryl, you're all good to go on the 2-way? Nothing. I'm like, okay, they must be still getting ready. And next minute, I hear Cheryl go, hi, Cam. I've had an accident. I'm like, she's already backed the hire car into something. I'm like, God. So I'm like, oh, okay, what's wrong? Everything fine? And no answer. Is everything okay? Do you want me to come down there? No answer. Then one of the customers gets on the 2-way radio, says, Cam, you better come down here. Cheryl's had a bit of a mishap. So get out of the car, go down the other end of the car park. It's still dark pretty much. There's a little bit of light coming up. Walk around the corner. There's Cheryl with a big towel on her head with a big gash from about an inch or so gash down the middle of her forehead, one across her nose and one down there. And I'm like, what the hell has happened? So because she hadn't driven in America for very long, in the morning, she went to get into the same side of the car that we get into, driver's side, realized that wasn't the right side. As she's coming back to go around the other side of the car, one of the customers had pressed the automatic door to shut because they thought everything at the back had been done. She walked around and went straight back into the corner of the car. She'd opened herself right up. So sunrise was abandoned, so to speak. And then, funnily enough, it was Groundhog Day off to Hurricane Hospital to get Cheryl maybe stitched up. They ended up just gluing her head back together. So that was fine. And then she carried on. But to her credit, she's a bit of a trooper. It would have bloody hurt. It didn't look good. It looked like it definitely needed stitches. The nurse is saying your 50-50 stitches or glue. We'll go with the glue and see how it goes. But all the flashbacks, the PTSD from the year before came past. And funnily enough, I didn't need directions to the hospital because I knew where it was. But I'm like, same day, same thing, same hospital. Give me a break. So that was a big problem. Sorry, Cheryl, for dobbing you in.
That's a good one. I'm going to throw myself under the bus. So a couple of years ago, excellent. Yeah, this you'll like this one. I'd started. So I've done my entry level workshop forever. Like I've done that since I worked at Camera House, and I decided to expand it. This may be 3 years ago, whatever it was, and do a landscapes and seascapes workshop for the very first time in Ocean Grove. So I put it out there, and lo and behold, 6 people. Yeah, great, we'll do that. Fantastic. And it was basically meet at the shop, and we do an hour in the shop, and then we all get in our own cars and we drive to Point Lonsdale and we do the sunset there. Well, that's fun. Except someone might have forgotten which day it was on. And
still in bed?
No, even worse. 3 sheets to the wind, sitting in my backyard with a 6-pack under my belt. I get a phone call from, luckily it was a friend, like an acquaintance who I'd known quite well, who wanted to come on the workshop. And she goes, just wondering when you're going to turn up. And I went, for what?
Wow.
I had 6 people at the front of my shop. And I had literally put it in everything as being a month later, but I was the only one that thought that.
Yeah.
On the website, on everything else, it was right, but I had it a month later in everything else. Wow. I was like,
so
and it was just, I was like, what do you do?
Did you go? You were drinking. You can't go.
Oh,
you did go.
Hell no. I had to call each person individually and basically, act like I hadn't had like I hadn't had half a dozen beers. And just confess to them and say, I'm so sorry, I've stuffed up the dates. And amazingly, they were so cool about it. All of them were just like, oh, well, that's disappointing, but whatever, we'll reschedule.
Have they booked again?
All of them came back the next month to do it when I thought it was going to be on. So that was fine. And 2 of them have been back since. So
the story is get on the piss before a workshop.
Sorry, yes. What was that?
The moral of the story is get on the piss every workshop and away you go.
It was remarkable. I was so embarrassed, but hey, I think it was the best policy was just to say, this is what's happened. Totally my bad. And I refunded all of them. And then they all came back a month later. So
yeah, there's nothing worse, is there? Like,
it was the biggest sinking feeling. I was just like, my God.
I did a wedding once down here, not a workshop, but I did a wedding down here. Small wedding, like bridegroom, that was it, like hardly anything else involved. And I rocked up. I was prepared, but I thought, it's not a big wedding. I don't need to do too much. So usually the night before a wedding, I'd have all my batteries charged, all that kind of stuff. I thought, it'll be all fine. I'll get it all done in the morning. And I got down to where they were. They did the ceremony first, and then they did the before wedding shots afterwards. It was all back to front. So we did the ceremony, and I pulled my camera out. I'm like, no battery. I'm like, there must be a battery somewhere. No battery whatsoever in this camera at all. I'm like, this is not good. And I had a backup camera that was like an old EM1 like shitty resolution sort of thing. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have to shoot this whole ceremony on that. So I did it. It worked okay. The flash was playing up a bit. So I said, sent a message to Lisa. I said, you need to run me down batteries and meet me here. I said, I've been doo-doo here. So that was fine. But then we went out and did the post-wedding shots that were the pre-wedding shots down at the Kingston Beach. So I had my backpack, went down there, and then they had one other location they wanted to go to. So as we done the ceremony, they already knew I was a bit. I actually said, I've never done this before. I've made a mistake here, but we'll make it work. It's okay. So automatically, I'm looking unprofessional. And then we go do these shots. Lisa meets me at this Kingston Beach. I'm back into the bigger camera. I'm all okay, no problems. We go from that location to the next location. I left my camera backpack sitting on the beach with all my gear in it, apart from the camera in my hand. So I get to this other place and I need a different lens. I'm like, where the hell's my bag? I'm like, shit, it's in the car. I'm like, shit, it's on the beach back there. I'm like, my God, it couldn't have gone any worse. So in the end, these guys were just magic. They said, well, we've got the rest of the day with you, don't we? I said, yeah. They said, go get your camera bag. We've got champagne in the car here. Mum and Dad are coming out. We'll wait here for you. It's only 20 minutes down the road. So I went, got back bag, came back. And then from then on, it was okay. But like, really, like if they knew what they were doing, they would have sacked me on the spot.
It's terrible. It's just that it's an amazing sinking feeling, isn't it? It's like, oh shit. Man.
There's nothing worse.
Yeah. Right. We've only got time for one more question. There was more, but we're just going to do one more because we're over 2 hours. This is outrageous for us. Here we go.
This is not going to be a trend for the rest of the year, is it?
No. Greg Andrew. Hello, Greg. You often chase the early morning and late afternoon light, and I understand why. But what about an elderly tourist that keeps gentleman's hours and often photographs in the bright light? What advice, I guess, is what he's asking, can we give for someone who's really not overly keen to get up for a sunrise?
Well, the simple answer is Greg, and hopefully he's watched the show long enough to understand my humor. You're not going to get great photos unless you get out of bed earlier or stay out a bit later. I would suggest for the elderly tourist, I'm assuming it's Greg that he's referring to. I would suggest that if you're going to shoot in gentleman's hours and in poor light, I would go and buy a dedicated black and white camera and just shoot black and white, because you are never going to get the classic colors of the morning and late afternoon in the middle of the day. Trust me, I hate getting up early. If I could have my time again, I would not do landscapes. I would do astro or something like that. But really, you need to get up a bit earlier. If you're not willing to do that, then you can't expect to get results that you might think you'd like to get.
Can I just say ditto?
Yeah. Stop being. Depends. How old are you, Greg? Put in your comments below. How old are you? You can't be that old that you can't get up early. I know some older people, and they get up at 4 o'clock every morning.
So we can pull us apart because Greg is like a name of our parents' generation.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say Greg is on the wrong side of 70.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to go a bit gentle.
No one listens this far.
No one listens this far. Not on a 2-hour episode. I reckon he's in his 60s maybe. But look, we say it all the time, and trust us when we say, when we do these workshops, we get to the end of these workshops, we are as knackered as you guys are, because we're up early, out late, but that's how you get it. Most people don't get up every day of the week to go out and do a photograph. One workshops, you're up 3 or 4 or 5 days in a row. But what I would suggest to Greg is, if you don't like getting up early, well, don't get up every day early. Just pick one day a week to get up early, and then maybe one day a week to stay out a bit later. And then you can just train yourself and get yourself better as the year goes on. And before you know it, you'll be up at Sparrow's Fart every morning, snapping away.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I can add to that is, from a photographic point of view, if you want to hone your skills still, but you don't want to shoot sunrise and sunset, then get a big lens out and shoot wildlife.
Yeah,
or shoot weddings, or people
with no battery.
Yeah. That's right. Fantastic, awesome. Well, thank you for your questions. That was really good. We'll probably do that again at some point down the track. Yeah. We were going to talk a bit about what we're going to be doing in 2026, but a lot of the questions actually tick that off. So we'll just circle back a little bit. One being the workshops. So there you go. There's the little scrolly thing across the bottom. And if I was clever right now, the QR code would appear up in the top right-hand corner.
Oh, wow. Have you been doing IT courses?
Absolutely not. In fact, I can't believe duck to water this stuff is. Like, I've just gone back in stream.
Please tell me we are recording though.
No. What's record mean? No, we've been recording this whole time. It's the workshops, the 2026 workshops. So as you can see, they're filling up quickly. So only a few spots left. So come and join us. It's good fun. Don't listen to what Cam just said about we're absolutely exhausted by the end of it. Of course we're not. We're just bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. We're just.
Well, I know one person that's not joining us, Greg.
Yeah, he might. Maybe he can hold down the fort. He can have a sleep in the car. That's fine.
Greg. He'll ask for like a 70% discount because he's only going to do a third of the workshop. 66%
right
discount.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the all the locations we're going to this year are great, including Freycinet Bay of Fires.
Bay of Fires and Wineglass Bay of Fires. Also, there's some beautiful forests and waterfalls on that one as well. So a bit of everything. It's a bit like the Great Ocean Road, really. Like there's a coastline and then forest not far from it. So yeah.
Yep. No, it
should be good.
Sure. So jump on, have a look at those, and also I'm just going to do this. If you do like what you see and you want to head over to dsps.com.au, check out the website that Cam maintains beautifully. Puts up new photos there regularly.
Once a year.
All the workshops are there, and there's also a big button there that says buy us a beer. If you like the show, we get you to subscribe, we get you to like, we get you to comment, but also if you feel that way inclined, you can go over there and buy us a beer. Which we can do it.
We can do a quick beer shout out, because I've got them here in front of me. Mel Haddon, Sharon Thorogood, and Felicity Johnson all purchased a beer. Some more than others, but we won't mention who.
Okay, thank you. Cooper, no?
Nah, he just talks. He doesn't put his money where his beer is.
Jenny Cooper.
Oh, Jenny Cooper. Oh, I thought you meant Ben Cooper.
No, Jenny Cooper.
No, you mean number 3 ticket holder.
See, and she's true to her word, because she said, right, if you're not putting out podcasts, I'm not buying beer. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. But
she doesn't listen this far, so.
No.
You know what, Jenny, if you are listening, you need to sell a few cows, my friend.
Well, it's almost New Year, so because the podcast has gone deep into New Year's Eve. So Happy New Year to all our listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for joining us on the journey in 2025 and since its inception way back in the day. We really are looking forward to 2026 and what we can do for you. No idea if the podcast will be weekly. We don't know if it'll be fortnightly. We don't even know if it'll be monthly, but it'll be something.
Oh, I think we can try and do it. We can try weekly-ish.
We tried that and we did okay.
You know what we need to do? We need to cheat. No one's listening anyway. So we need to cheat where we just go one night and just do like 5 episodes over 4 or 5 hours.
Well,
and then
podcasters out there that do just that.
Is it really?
The issue with it is when you get to that week 5 and a big bit of photography news has dropped like 2 weeks before that, and you're not talking about it.
Like OM's crashed and they're folded and they're no longer available.
Stop projecting.
Oh, sorry.
We are actually still on the air.
Oh, are we? Okay. All right, yeah. So happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully it's a safe and happy New Year for you. And make sure you keep watching along. And like I said, we'll put something together every week or two. And for those coming along to the workshops in 2026, really looking forward to meeting you guys and having a bit of fun. Don't forget to check out Brendan's website and my website, which you'll have in the link below. That's about it, I think.
Perfect. Thanks for a great year, Cam.
Thank you. Thanks for coming along.
It's been good fun. And looking forward to another big year in 2026. That is it. That's the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back with episode 185 sometime in January in the new year.
15 to go.
15 to go. And we raise the bat yet again. Oh, let's not talk about cricket. Oh.
How was your day 3 at the test? Good.
It was so good. Hey, I did get a full refund.
So you should. You should get a free.
Check their fine print. They don't have to.
You should have got a refund plus a ticket to next year.
That's and the next Ashes at Lord's.
I'm going to an Ashes too. I've decided I'm going to go around the UK and follow the Ashes.
2 years done.
Yep, done. I'm gonna. For some reason, we're doing lots of Scottish tours that time of year.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Cheers. Happy New Year, everyone. If I had
Happy New Year.
Thing, I'd make it blow.
How's that for timing? My lights just went off. Stranger Things.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Bye now.
Bye.
Say goodbye, Cameron.
Bye, Cameron. That's how long it's been.